What is up and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am the one and only AbbyJ. And for those of you who do, hey! So as you can see and tell by the title, today is a Bohemian box braid tutorial, pretty much just a box braid and doing simple box braid, a step-by-step walk through. So to start off, to get straight into it, I use the tail of a rat tail comb and I separate, and then I put Murray's beeswax in that part. Then I go in with the larger tooth of a tooth comb and I just separate and make sure that there are no flyaways left, and I get that line, and then we go in to make the part for the braid. So I just use the tooth comb and I separate and then do the same thing. I put beeswax in the part and then use the tooth comb again to make that part, and that is how we get our parts for box braids, clean parts for box braids. So once I go ahead and pin the other side away, we can focus on the one section of hair that we are going to be using for our box braids. So to start off, I take some beeswax. Oh, I was watching the black list, but I take beeswax and I put it around the root, pretty much where my hair is black because the rest is dyed, but all on the root. And then I separate that section into two equal parts, just straight down the middle. It does not have to be perfect, but just two separate parts. Sometimes I twist it just to have the hair kind of bulk together because of the way beeswax works, but you don't have to. It is so not an important step at all. Now for parting the hair, I take two small, well, because I am doing them extra long, you're going to need 4 pieces in total. I take 2 small slivers, really slivers like that. So that's one. Then I'm going to do another one, and then we are going to go in and get 2 larger pieces. So these are the 2 larger pieces, just to have a idea of the size you should be going for. That's the 2 larger pieces, not too much smaller. Not too much larger, I'm sorry. But it should be 4 pieces in total because I like to add hair to make them go to about my knees. So with the hair, you want to take the 2 larger pieces and you are going to simply drape. Oh, not I dropped it. You're gonna simply drape one hand over the other to make a T. That's it. You take one hand and you just drape it over the other. Now, here's where things can get a little tricky. Once you have draped it, you group one together and you leave the other one hanging. So a lot of times I like to take the one that I draped over top, just let it hang down, and then the other 2, just grab them together. Then you have 3 equal parts. Now that it's a little blurry, but that knot you want to put in the section of the split. So how we made 2 extra pieces, you want to put that in the section of the split. That's going to make sure that your grip game is strong and that your braid is starting at the very root of your hair. Now, it's a little blurry, I'm sorry, but to start the braid, you want to have a piece of hair between your middle and your index finger and a piece of hair between your ring finger and your pinky. When you start the braid, you want to take the hand that only has one thing of hair left, or that hand right there that I'm shaking. You want to grab the ones that was holding your index and your ring finger. You want to grab it with that hand and then take your next hand and grab the single strand of hair. You want to do that again. You take your hand that only has one piece of hair and you grab the strands that were between your index and your ring finger, and then you just start to braid. And I'll show you one more time in a video if you did not get the explanation, but you're just braiding but at the root. So you want to take the hand that only has one piece of hair and you want to grab the piece of hair that is in between your index and your ring finger, and then you want to rotate and grab the piece of hair that was in between your pinky finger and your ring finger. And that's it. That's all there is to it. In case I didn't explain it right, I am going to do it once more, but this is how I add the pieces of hair. So I just take the thinner piece of hair and I just put it on in there. You see that little V that it gives you, put it on in there and just start braiding. It's as easy as that, nothing to it, but to just push that piece of hair up in there and braid. Ignore the mess in the back. I am packing for college. Yeah, and then you just braid down like normal. I normally do 2 pieces of thinner hair, so I do that, braid down a little bit more, then go ahead and add one more piece of hair to that strand that was left out and did not get a piece of hair, and that is it. Now, to show you guys how we end the braid, since they're super long for me, I put it in my mouth. But you wrap around your 2 fingers. Make sure you are going behind your 2 fingers. That is key to everything. Make sure it is behind where that braid is, not in front. And then you slip it in between your fingers and just pull through. And you do that 2 times. So I'm going to do it once more. I think I did that already twice. That was my second one. But you want to do that twice just so that it's not going to unravel at all. But you put it between those 2 fingers. Make sure you're going behind the braid, behind your finger. Slip it in between and just pull. That is it. And that is how to box braid. And I will do it once more just to show you. You make that T, drape it over, and then you're going to grab 2 pieces together. That way you collect 3 strands. All right. Then you take that knot that you have, and girl, turn back around. You're doing something. Anyways, you take it and you put it in between the 2 strands that you have of natural hair. And we're going to take the hand that only has 1 strand, and we're going to grab the piece that was in between your index and your middle finger. So you're kind of doing a twist. And then you rotate and you grab the piece that was in between your ring finger and your pinky with that hand that is going to continuously only have 1 strand. And then you just keep doing that. Keep passing the strands back and forth from the hands, and eventually you have your knot at the top, and then you can just braid down normally. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's a super easy concept. Geez Louise. And since my hair is naturally curly, I'll take some beeswax and I kind of run my fingers down the strand, my natural strand of hair, just to make it clump together. That way it's a little easier to tuck. I didn't have to do much of it because the hair was pretty much the color of my natural hair, so I wasn't too worried about tucking. But when I do a different color other than brown, then I tuck a little more. But you just kind of wrap the extension hair around your natural hair and then just braid like normal. Now, I will show you guys how I added strands of hair if you guys want to do bohemian braids, but this is the hair I use, the free tress water wave and just normal extension hair. I can't think of the name right now, y'all. It's late. Anyways, so what I do is I take the curly hair, I take 1 piece and I kind of throw it over my hair just to get it out the way. And then I take the other piece and I just kind of line it up with one of the strands that I have in my hand and start braiding. It's really nothing to it. You don't have to make a knot, none of that. You just line it up with one of the strands that you're braiding with and just braid like normal.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, lend me your ears.
So as you can see, it should be just a seamless add. It should just be coming out randomly from the braid. Once it focuses, you'll be able to tell, but it's not like there's a knot or anything. It just comes out the braid. So that's how I like to add the hair. I don't like to crochet it in after, none of that. Just like to add it in. So, and then I'm obviously going to go just to show you guys one more time of how I add hair just to make the braid extra long. I just add it in, pretty much push it in that V shape between 2 strands of hair and keep braiding. Now, when I use the extra free tress hair, I use like Cantu or something. I'm very not picky, but then I take my fingers and I just use some product and run down just to define the curls and that extra hair just a little more. And that's it. I do it to both pieces. It's not a necessary step. I just like to define those curls in that extra hair. Yeah, it's just personal preference. and this is just how it was looking so far. This was before the ends were dipped, and I'm about to show you a clip of my hair when it was done. This is before I dipped all the ends. I wish I hadn't. I did dip my ends and I pretty much ruined it, but whatever. It's not that deep. But this is the bohemian box braid style I was going for. I liked it when it looked like this. When I dipped my ends in hot water, it ruined it. But besides the point, that's neither here nor there. I hope you enjoyed.